If you were like me and you were once into constructing 12 by 12 scrapbooks, you are going to have a ton of these letters. I was walking by my bin where I had these stored a couple days ago, and I'm trying to destash things that I don't really use anymore. I'm really working hard to clean out my studio by the end of the year. So, by the way, keep on the lookout for some destash deals. But I was walking by my bin wondering, what am I going to do to get rid of these stickers? Because I don't use these anymore. I barely used them when I did scrapbook. As you can see, most of them are still on the sticker sheet. I don't know if you remember Basic Gray, but every time you bought a collection pack, you got a sticker sheet, and I was really into Basic Gray back in the day. So I have a ton of these. This is only half of what I have. So I actually wondered out loud. I said, what am I going to do with all these letters? About an hour later, up in my YouTube feed popped a suggestion of Natasha from Treasure Books and what to do with your leftover letters. Now, I don't know if that's a huge coincidence because I've never watched Natasha from Treasure Books before, or if Google was, this is probably the more likely scenario, Google was listening on my phone and decided that that was a good video to suggest to me. But either way, I'm glad that it got suggested because she had some fantastic ideas about what to do with all these letters, and it inspired me, it motivated me to start making some things with these. I'm going to link to her video below because she made a lot of non-junk journal related things too that you might be interested in. I'm going to focus more on ephemera today, but definitely check out her video. I'm going to start watching her. I think she's fabulous. But I'm not kidding. This is only half of my, not even half of my pile of letters. I have more of these. I also have a whole pile. I'm going to do a separate video on what to do with these. These are all chipboard letters, and I have some ones that are just huge. I'm just going to focus on these kind of stickers today. Sorry for the glare. And let me show you a couple of things I already made, and we'll make some things together. So Natasha from Treasure Books had made these book plates, and so I sort of mimicked them, but I'm going to do a little something different with these. But you can see here how I just used a variety of different letters, and I didn't pull the same letters off of the same page. I just pulled from random sheets, and look how fabulous they look. On top of being able to get rid of these, I am frantically working on reducing my scrap paper pile. So I think that between this and those letters, if I just keep at it or do this in front of the TV, I might really whittle down my excess stuff that I don't really use anymore. So I affixed them to a piece of scrap paper and then sewed around the edges. Now, I am going to embellish these a little further, so let's just do one together. This one that says journal, that's on the A isn't really showing up all that great. We're having a stormy day today and the light is terrible in Maine today, but I just put journal across here on a scrap piece of paper and sewed around the edges in a cream color, and of course used my Tim Holtz, which you know I always use, to ink the edges. So I love using watercolor paper for my elements because it's just so versatile. So I'm going to stick this on here, leaving a little bit of a border. And I'll just use my tape gun. Just a small border. And then I'm going to use my ruler, and if you don't have one of these, you can make one yourself. This is a distress ruler. I got this from We Are Memory Keepers. and but you can make your own. Look up how to make your own distress ruler, but basically you take an old ruler and you make chips in it. So really super simple. And I'm going to see if I can do this because I think that I may have a small fracture in my arm right here. So I'm going to see, I'm in a little bit of pain. I'm going to see if I can tear this. Yeah, not too bad. It's just certain movements that catch me. I tripped over my slippers the other night and slammed my arm against the edge of the wall. Not the wall itself, the edge of the wall. So now I'm having trouble with this arm. But anyway, I did it. Okay. Then I'm going to take my vintage photo and distress the edges. I love the way this looks when you distress it and then you ink it. This is just one of my favorite looks, and I'm going up onto the paper too. So I'm doing the edge and I'm going up onto. Now see, this is something that is bothering my arm. So I'll just do one of these here. Okay. And then I thought what might look nice is, let's see, is to put some brads in the corner and make it look a little industrial. And I think I want to put them out onto the watercolor paper. So I'll just use my hole punch and just kind of eyeball it. I'm not going for perfection here. Right? That's what we love about junk journals. We don't have to worry about perfection. If you want to worry about perfection, make a mini album. That's what I do. When my brain needs to be precise, I make a mini album. When I need to just be messy and just create, I make a junk journal. And then I'll put some brads in here. Okay, that took me a minute. I had to pause the video. Every time I'd pick one up that looked like it would match, I would drop it back in there. My fingers are going a little numb. It's the weekend right now. I guess on Monday I'm going to have to go get this checked out, this arm checked out. But I've broken so many bones over the years that it's just, I don't even really worry about it too much anymore. Okay, so there we go. So how cool with, well, this isn't a, I don't have a big junk journal right now. They're all sold, but it would look really nice on the front of a book. And then you've got some of the smaller ones, which also you can decorate the same way. I made a little bit of a bigger one too because I thought that this could slip in. And I would probably put it this way in a larger journal as a pocket, but you certainly could put it like this and have it be a flip as well. So you can make bigger ones for pockets and flips. So I probably will be making a bunch of these, and in different sizes. This one's a little bit larger. But I'll probably make more because I tend to make smaller journals. I'll probably make more in this size. But I think using the different size letters is what really makes it interesting. So the other thing I decided to do as well was to make some bookmarks. I had some sheets. Where are they now? Here we go. I had some sheets like this. Even when I used a pokey tool, the letters just were not coming up. They were pulling off the paper from behind. They were tearing. They are just stuck on here. I can't even really get behind there without them tearing, and that's just too much precision work for me to be interested in. So my mother actually said, well, why don't you just cut the whole sheet up? Ta-da! What a great idea. So that's what I did. So I cut these, this is my third one. I had 2 of these, and I cut them into sizes that are 2 by 6, which is a standard bookmark size. And then I inked them up on the front a little bit in Vintage Photo, and then this is a Zinfandel or something like that, kind of a darker maroon, and I laminated them, and I used my angle cutter to, you know how to make tags, so it's the same process. Oh, and I also affixed scraps of my scrapbook paper on the back before I laminated it. Now, if you don't have a laminating machine, I'm pretty sure that you can get laminating sheets that will go through your printer, but also you could take these and you could just put Mod Podge, especially if you have some of the glossy that you want to get rid of. Bookmarks really lend themselves well to the glossy because you can wash them off if you spill things on them or whatever. If you are laminating, I just wanted to remind you to not cut all the way up to the edge of your paper. The laminated sheets need this a little bit, a little like 1/4 of an inch on each side to stick together. If you cut it all the way to the edge, it's going to separate over time. So that's what I did with this sheet. I just cut them down in 2x6 like this, put scrapbook paper on the back, chomped off the corners, laminated them, cut a hole and put some twine in, and there we go. Now, there's nothing that says that we can't decorate these further. I also have a ton of dollar store stamps that stickers, I mean, that I just don't use. So you could take something like this and just, let's see, which way does this go? I don't suppose it matters. And just stick that on there. Got a butterfly that I could put on here. And you can dress them up all you want. You can put stuff on the back. Just have fun with it. I also have a bunch of letters that are huge. These are, quite large, but look at these. I have some that are even, look at the size of these. I don't know what I would ever use these for. So I thought I would make myself a little, I'm just going to put the word create across it, and it may go in a journal. It may just sit in front of me in my room as something fun. So I have another piece of watercolor paper, and I'm going to start around here because I want room to be able to distress with that ruler. So you can see what a fun look that is when you use a combination of capital letters and lowercase letters. Tilt them off to the side. Don't have them be straight across. It adds so much interest and is tons of fun. So let me tear this down. And now I'm just going to ink up the edges of that distressed paper, and I'm using the ink pad. I figured out what wine it is. It's claret. So I'm going to ink the edges of this up and then do something decorative on the front. So I decided on the front to use Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist, and this color is Red Tipped Rose. I'm in kind of a red mood today, I guess. And I'm spraying it on my new Tim Holtz glass mat, so don't laugh at me because this is the first time I've ever used it, so I don't quite know what I'm doing. There's probably a better way of doing this, which I will learn eventually, I suppose, but I just tried to get as much of the ink on there and the glimmer that I could, and it didn't work really well, I think because this is watercolor paper, so I ended up just sort of spraying it on directly. Another idea I had was to make a collage with the letters on a larger piece of paper that I can then cut up and use at a later date. So this is a piece of paper that it's an artist paper that came in one of the Stampington books, and they always give you several of these artist papers. I love them and I never use them, so I decided I'm going to use this today, and I'm just going to put them on here randomly and see what happens. So I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out. I tried to fill most of the available spaces. I can see a big gap there. I might stick something in there. And in the end, I decided that I really liked the glittery letters, the way they pop off the page. And so I can have this in my stash. Now, if you're a mixed media person, you can go even further than this. I don't have a lot of mixed media supplies, so I'm just going to keep this in my stash, and when I need something, I can, this would make a nice page. I'd have to Mod Podge it because the letters would come off, but if I wanted to actually just fold it like this and put it in a page, I could do that. I can cut it into tags that would be tags, or make more bookmarks, cut them in little 2x6 strips, and I can use them I can cut them to size and use them as a backing for some other things. So I would cut it down. I would cut it down like this, and that would be the background. So I have all kinds of things that I can do with this piece. Okay, this is what we have so far. So another thing that I thought of is to make some dog tag kind of looking things. So I cut out a small rectangle. It can be any size, but in case you want to know, mine is 2 3/4 by 1 3/4 approximately. And I thought that this would be a nice use for the numbers. So I'm just going to take some numbers, and I'm going to try to start with 0 as many times as I can, because that makes it look like more like an office supply or something like that, something that's actually numbered, if that makes sense. Okay. All right, and then to make it look more like a dog tag, I would, or whatever, I don't know, a number plate. Let's call it a number plate. I would punch a hole on either side. This one's a little off. Let me even it up. That's a little better. Okay, so we have that, and then you can ink it up to make it look more vintage. And then you have something that can just go on a page that looks really cool. You can put brads through here. You can string a piece of ribbon through and have it sticking out both sides. You can tie some twine on either side in a slip knot. But I think that these are really cool looking too. So I'm going to make a bunch of these with... That's pretty neat too. I would definitely put some metal in here if I was going to use it on a cover, and it would look nice laminated as well. And think of a variety of shapes and colors too. So I had a bunch of these circles laying around, so I just put the number 12 on it, inked around the edges. I could pop a small hole in the top too if I wanted, but you can use any shape you want, and numbers always look cool on anything. The other thing I thought of too is if you have a bunch of these circles or other kinds of shapes and you just happen to have a set that has the full alphabet in it, which I do, the smaller letters here, well, maybe just take your letters, make 26 circles, and have the full alphabet, one on each circle, A through Z. You have 26 of these, and then what a nice little gift. You pop them in a decorative envelope or something like that and give them as a Happy Mail gift. They'd get a full set of alphabet letters. That's a nice little gift idea. Another idea I had was to take some scrapbook paper and make some tickets. And I do have a video on how to easily make these tickets. I used a contrasting color. I had some of these white stickers, so I used black. And why not just make some tickets that you can have on hand? Or, again, you can give those as a gift. And then I got yet another idea because I have these collage tags that I'm working on to put in my shop. They were sitting here next to me in my work in progress pile, and I pulled one out and I thought, why not take a contrasting color and put it on the collage tag, but instead of thinking linearly, let's put something across the side, because not everything has to go perfectly up and down. So if we just put the word art here, then that really dresses up that tag. So I'm liking that as well. And the challenge is, once you start using your letters, trying to actually be able to come up with words. Most of my S's are gone because my last name starts with the letter S. So, and S is quite a common letter. So it might be a challenge to come up with enough words, but there's one. Nice short and sweet one. So here's a question. Tell me in the comments below what letter this is. What letter? Is that an L? Like a fancy L? I don't know. Do not know what letter that is. Hopefully some of you do. Although if you're younger, you probably don't even know cursive letters. I'm going to pretend that's an L, because the other thing I thought of, this is from what I made earlier. This is the Glimmer Mist. I took a piece of watercolor paper and just sopped up the rest of that beautiful rose color, and why not think in terms of vertical letters? So let's pretend that really is an L. I hope it is. And I'll just put the word love on here. So now that I'm looking at it in a sentence or in a word, I think that is an L. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm trying to draw it in my head, but But there we go. So we either have another bookmark or we have something to just put in a journal. So think in terms of not just thinking linearly from left to right in how your letters can go. They can go vertically like this or like this. So last night I sat in front of the TV with my husband, watched a movie, had a glass of wine, and made a whole bunch of these number plates or dog tags, whatever you want to call them. I love these. These are really fun and simple to make, and I'm probably going to put these in my shop in packs of 10 or 25, so be on the lookout for that, and I'm going to make lots more of these. I think this is a ton of ideas here. Thank you to Natasha from Treasure Books for getting me started on this. It really sparked my creativity. This is going to go at the front of my desk. I'm probably going to laminate that, and all of this stuff will certainly get used in my journals. So I hope this gave you some ideas of busting your scraps a little more. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.